Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Woo! That takes care of halftime.
Yes, it does.
And there's something else we got to take care of too after the top of the hour. And I'm proud to say this: we owe y'all an ID.
This is WBWSDB Chicago. This is WJKS Indianapolis, Chicago, and the world. This is WSMMDB Indianapolis.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to WQVZ 1700 AM Mission Radio.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
He's the armchair quarterback.
Well, there's something else
we need to do. I believe it is that time now, isn't it?
But before we do,
yes,
there's something else. I want to show y'all something hilarious.
And what would that be?
Well,
besides LeBron flopping around
besides LeBron being a hemorrhoid. Yeah. I've had some people ask me recently where the whole Dear Bronxexuals came from.
Okay.
And it was a hilarious 35-second clip 2 years ago. And I made a promise that I'd show where it all started. So with that thought in mind, here it is.
World where logic and sense flies completely.
Hold up. Dear Bronxexuals, you. Dear Facebook for allowing Bronxexuals on. You. Dear ESPN for putting Braun. Dear ESPN for putting Braun on in 2003. You, and you.
Allowing them to be on the platform.
Dear LeBron James, you for ruining the NBA. Now get the f out of my face, you thirsty hook the horse.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Dear Bronxexuals, you. Dear Facebook for allowing Bronxexuals on. You. Dear ESPN for putting Braun. Dear ESPN for putting Braun on in 2003. You, and you.
Allowing them to be on the platform.
Dear LeBron James, you for ruining the NBA. Now get the f out of my face, you thirsty hook the horse.
Oh my God.
Oh dear Lord.
That's brilliant.
That's where it started.
Where's that meme of like the guys like starting to slow clap and then it's just
That's
you mean
that's where it started.
You mean this button, John?
that, but faster.
That's also where the false start came from. That's where the false start started. That started 2 years ago.
Yep. And it has carried on ever since.
It has.
It even made its way over into my lexicon during Don's intros.
And Napoleon started that ish.
Yep.
I thought you started doing all of that.
Just a moment. The one that you did was funnier because Don was about to wrap up his intro. All of a sudden,
oh, you're right. He was about to wrap it up.
Gentlemen, without further ado, time.
Yes. With that being said, time. I'm laying back in this chair and I'm laughing my head off. And Don, bless his heart, going, "Hey, ref, that's against the defense, not me."
It was like,
get your eyes
eventually it became, "Ref, get your eyes checked."
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Matter of fact, I believe
you got me over
I
here
have
screaming
it.
like I'm Tom Brady.
Oh my! You have it?
I believe I have it.
That's a way announcers
What the? Look. My name.
Was that with Alistair?
That was Alistair.
That was
That was the
Alistair.
start of one of your long streams.
Not even I will make that joke, even though it's too easy.
Oh, God help me! It's Thursday then.
Muppets.
That joke was the joke I had in mind was easier than Tuukka Rask's glove in Game 6.
Get the fuck out of my studio, Okate.
Oh, we forgot to censor that.
Yeah, you forgot to censor that.
I did.
Apologies to the radio partners.
We apologize to all of our radio partners.
There
There it is.
Go on now.
Thank God. Can I finally do this?
Yes.
Thank you. With all of that being said,
Time. False start. Offense. Top your
Hey,
penalty.
Will!
First down.
it's your eyes, chat. It was on the defense, not me. With that like I said, I'm over here sounding like Tom Brady.
Before or after the football got deflated?
Both. Or should I say before or after Tuukka Rask had a hole in his glove on a 95-mile-an-hour slap shot from Dave Bickle. Or Dave Bolin, rather.
I think I killed him.
No, that happened this morning.
I killed him.
That happened earlier this morning. Yeah. All right. There's a pretty redhead waiting for us. And she's going to break down the WNBA playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Even that has made its way into Discord. Don't ask me how. Here's Allie. You know that when even Allie is shaking her head at our craziness. Good morning, Allie. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. Look at all the people we have on here. Look at. Hello, beautiful people. How are you today?
We're good. We're good.
Apparently, I'm getting roasted 29 ways from Sunday, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Hey, I got roasted earlier. I made the idiotic pick of the Raiders over the Chargers.
Okay. Yeah, I understand it, but hey, this is a new week. This will be week 3.
And Damien, Chicago Bears over Detroit.
Let's just say that the Trustman era in Chicago is back. I haven't seen scores like that, like what happened in Detroit on Sunday. Since then, the words that came out of my mouth were, my child, even at 20, should not have heard them. So it was.
That means it'd be perfect for Friday when we make our picks.
Oh yeah. What happened? I cannot. Just because Jalen Johnson isn't in the lineup, we fall apart? We give up 52 points? I mean, yes, Dan Campbell, great Detroit Lions head coach. I mean, okay, so they almost made the Super Bowl last year. That's no goddamn excuse.
Mike Jeff's already happened, and here we are 3 minutes in. Good night, everybody.
You know it. Sorry, FCC.
We already had to apologize to the radio partners once, so.
They were pathetic. They were so pathetic. Where is Caleb Williams? He is not the quarterback of the future. If he's going to stay like this, it ain't happening. I mean, he looked worse in week 2 than he looked in week 1. We had faith for about 3.5 quarters, and look it, fell apart. End of game.
Since then, and I mentioned this stat yesterday. Since the end of the third quarter against Minnesota, the Bears have given up 73 points.
Yes. It's like, what the hell are you thinking? What are you thinking? Where is all of that team unity and all that offense that Ben Johnson promised? I mean, I think it's scary for him as well.
Training camp.
I think all of that went the way of the Blues Brothers and that Dodge they had. Out the window.
We need to put on a benefit concert for them. Let's.
Speaking of the Blues Brothers, I am reminded of a line from the Blues Brothers that applies to Ben Johnson and his staff. We're on a mission from God.
Yeah, well, I think the mission is failing miserably.
Send the entire team back to two-a-days. Because they got to learn the fundamentals if they're going to be able to play the game right.
Hey, especially after this cat. Do not say that F word. Do not say fundamentals around here.
You can't say fundamentals around here, especially. And I keep Allie out of this group name, especially given the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy that sees all kinds of red roses and hope and doesn't bother to look at the real numbers that come their way. Allie, am I telling a lie here?
You are telling the absolute truth, Snowman. You are telling it. You're telling it like it is.
Am I? What do I always say? I'm the lie.
Yeah. I'm
looking at the line score here: 14, 14, 10, and 14 in the Sunday game. They held the Lions once to one field goal. That came in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You turn that into a touchdown. It's 56 points, which means. Oh my gosh, 10 touchdowns in 5 quarters.
It's ridiculous.
You allow Goff to go for 334. Jahmyr Gibbs gets 94 on the ground. Amon-Ra St. Brown, which some Bear fans that I know personally put him down, and I'm thinking, why are you doing that? He goes off 9 receptions and 115 yards.
Mm-hmm. It is literally the worst performance I've seen since the Trustman era. I have, and that's taken in a lot.
And I remember Trustman. He was an offensive coordinator for the 49ers once upon a time, and he was praised after he took the role that Mike Shanahan vacated.
Yeah, right.
Mark Trestman became the OC for 3 years. Niners league in scoring and in offensive yardage. They were top 3 in offensive yardage. Then Trestman went to Canada and then came back to the Bears, and we all know what happened there. Everything fell apart.
Worst 2 years of our lives. And this felt very much like that. Greg and I were watching the game together, and he was we're both getting over serious chest colds right now, and he lost his voice. And it was that bad. And I don't see how they're coming back from this.
They're not. The
only
with the people up top, okay, means Ryan Poles has got to go.
Yes,
he should have never been. Ryan, I said this once. Allie agreed with me. Victor agreed with me, but the Midwest Committee didn't. I'll say it again, and I've been proven. Ryan Poles is a puppet.
Yeah, he is. He's a puppet of the McCaskies, of George McCaskey. And I don't know. The biggest issue that I have with the McCaskies is that they always look the wrong way when you're providing guidance on how you want your team to come together. The last time that anybody had any influence outside of say Virginia was when her father was founding the team. He was the one who wanted Mike Ditka. Nobody else did. And since the old man died, there's just been a whole lot of mediocre. Now that says something. When you had this whole lot of mediocre,
I go back to one game which defines this current era of the Bears, which has now lasted 13 years. They had Green Bay in their house for the NFC Championship in 2010. There was so much hype surrounding this game, and then all a broken Aaron Rodgers did was walk the Packers right down the field, stick it in the end zone, and since then they got socked in the mouth and kicked in the rear end, and they haven't recovered. They have not recovered since a half healthy Aaron Rodgers walked down the field. And remember, Aaron Rodgers didn't play the week before. He didn't play in the divisional round.
Yeah.
But he comes back for the NFC Championship and walks down the field on you? Nah, I'm more than embarrassed.
The only thing more embarrassing than the Bears is the Chicago Sky.
Oh, Lord. That's where we really get started with this segment, folks.
I sat through 6 hours of exit interviews last week after the end of the Chicago Sky's season, and I wrote down a few very pithy quotes from Jeff Paglioccia, and I was astounded at some of the things he said. I don't doubt his heart, as he said. I pour my heart and soul into this job every day. Now, I have no doubt that Jeff does precisely that every day. When you have a team that doesn't work, there's a thing that you do, and that's you try to figure out what went wrong and why, and then you work on fixing it.
Yep.
However, his answers, to my mind, were wrong. And I quote directly, "We think Tyler's the man for the job." That's okay. That's his first mistake.
I'm sorry, what? This idiot still believes in Tyler?
What?
That's what he said at his exit press conference. We think Tyler's the man for the job.
Victor, we need you here to hear this. He still thinks Tyler Marshall's the man for the job.
He's an incredible human being. That's a direct quote from Jeff. Great at building relationships. One of the brightest young coaches in this league. So much I'm grateful for. Glad that he's here.
Glad that he's here.
Glad that he's here. I mean, he's a very friendly guy. He is great at building relationships, but that doesn't mean he's a great coach. Clearly, it doesn't.
Translating on the floor.
No,
it's not translating where it's supposed to translate, on the floor.
Right. He's supposed to give them the killer instinct. Frankly, I think being a nice guy does not necessarily mean that you're going to be a champion in another year.
Exactly.
I mean, James Wade had a lot more talent to work with, I think, during his time there. He too was a nice guy, but he also had, he knew how to work with talent and bring the best out in them. And I think that's one problem. Everybody in the interviews, and I have to say that Angel Reese and Ariel Atkins did not attend those exit interviews. Apparently they were unavailable, and
which means
they would be scheduled at a later time.
Which tells me they're both out of there.
That's very possible. The problem being that they're hinging a lot of next year on the fact that they have this new practice facility that's being built in Bedford Park. And the thing is that was one of the things that Angel Reese had talked about in terms of her willingness to come back here and do anything for the team. And the thing was that tomorrow they're actually having a ceremony, a dedication ceremony in Bedford Park for this facility. What Angel had been vocal about, even in previous discussions throughout the year, had been that she doesn't like taking showers with the community, which is what happens at Sachs Recreation Center. That is a public recreation center in Deerfield. It's not close to her house in Burr Ridge, let's put it that way. And it's just, it was inconvenient. They had to schedule practices around every other team that wanted to practice there. And it was like being in high school again, It's or on a travel team in high school. You have to find for a professional WNBA team, they are putting a lot into this practice facility. If I'm able, I'm going to try and go down there tomorrow and talk about it. And they said that the questions would be limited to nothing but the practice facility.
Of course. Yeah. Well, you know why they put that stipulation in. That's obvious.
Well, yeah. They're not going to talk about, Angel Reese or, whether Tyler Marsha's coming back or not. They're just not going to do that. And yeah. And so it'll be interesting. He said that Jeff said at the interview, he was asked about new ownership, how the ownership had showed its commitment to building the Sky into a great organization. And he said, well, you see all the new resources like the new practice facility, and he thinks that he sees it in the way they care about the day-to-day things. And they leave him, they don't get really involved in the minutia. Right. And he believes that the investment in better players will be there moving forward. He said that they do have an absolute need to improve the roster. Yeah. And so I think their hearts may be in the right place, but it remains to be seen if the decision-making processes they go through really are going to be effective for the team. Right. I'm not convinced. And I would be happy to see that if they make this practice facility investment, that or try and get a seasoned coach who knows how to take someone to the promised land, which is the playoffs, there and to a WNBA championship. I'm not seeing any of that right now.
I'm not seeing it either. We all talked about this off the air, that Chicago doesn't have, what's the word I use? Direction.
Yeah.
There is no direction with this team. Go ahead, Shane.
There's no identity. I mean, the fact of the matter is this team has been all over the place the last couple of years. And Jeff even said it himself in one of the exit interviews that Angel has had 2 good years here. Until he hears otherwise, he's on the team. But there's rumors flying everywhere
Oh,
She
yeah.
will be traded.
Yep.
So the question is, how much of an identity can a team have if there's a plan A and a plan B and you're not sure which way you're going?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Shane. It's going to be an issue until, first of all, Angel is going to be, essentially not quite a free agent, but people around the league will pay a lot of good money for her. She wants to know that the team is going to be really investing in the team and in allowing her and Camilla to do their thing. It's
Coach, you need to get a low post coach there.
yes.
Allie, you have said this Allie has said this on this program for 2 years. If you want Angel and Carmilla to succeed, you better bring somebody in that knows the low post.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
Because they're playing too far out of position. They're playing too far away from where they need to be. And when they get caught at the top of the floor, say against a team like Golden State that loves to swing the ball around, they are caught napping too many times.
Exactly. They are, I think that's one of the reasons why she sat out the last 3 games. I mean, I think the back injury was a nice cover, but I honestly believe that until the management actually does something in those areas, they're not going to have Angel next year. Camilla also said, Jeffson, or not Jeff, Tyler's a nice guy. We like him building relationships. But, she too is kind of sick of the situation.
Yep.
And together they could be a real force. But they need the right leadership, as we're all saying here. They need to have someone who knows how to direct and guide them and give them an actual mission.
Did you say mission? Did you say
mission?
She said mission.
I said mission.
We bring Allie aboard, and the first thing she does is that she too yells out a cuss word like mission, like we yell out with fundamentals. But you gotta love it. Let's take a quick break to honor our stations here. When we come back, more with Allison Moran. This is Snowman in the Morning. We're back in the Deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Cause we take this job so serious.
You fool!
Delete!
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
I couldn't tell you what else at the blue hell.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. And yes, we're rocking it old school, which means there's a piece of business called an ID.
You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
This is KS, Indianapolis, Chicago, and the world.
34 after the hour, 25 before we get up out of here. Allison Moran is with us for the second half of the Token Female Takeover. Upstairs to Shane.
Now, my big thing before we move on dealing with Angel Reese is, and I think this is going to be the biggest question for a lot of teams, who's really going to need to invest in her when she doesn't invest in the team or herself? Yes, she's had flashes of brilliance, but you don't buy a lighter for it to flick on every 3 or 4, sparks. She needs to have some sort of consistency to make the value worth it. And so the question is, who's going to take that risk?
And I'll couple that with what I've said a lot that we've all have said before, and we all have talked about it. Her last great game was at LSU when she had 17 points and 20 rebounds, oddly enough, against Iowa, a game they lost by 7. The next best game she's had close to that was a comeback victory against the Indiana Fever for the Chicago Sky when she scored 15 in the fourth quarter and wound up with 25 for the game. Since then, what's been her best game? Which leads back to Dog's question. Who's going to take all that responsibility? Who's going to take that on when she doesn't even take responsibility for herself or her game?
That's a really good question. I could see her in the lineup at Dallas, for one. I could really see her fitting in well there. I could see her being the final cog of the piece at the LA Sparks. I would say that those two teams are hurting for somebody like Angel and her. And I mean, she could be paired with Paige Beckers or Kelsey Plum, and they would be a very, very potent offense for any team. She would be the cog in helping them overcome their difficulties this year, and why they're both lottery teams. And I could see that they would fit into that scheme pretty nicely. I think the mistake that the Sky made with her was trying to put her in a position that she had no business being in. They took her out of her comfort zone. They were working on improving certain parts of her game while also expecting her to be the same person underneath the basket that she has been forever and ever. And I think that kind of duality messed her up the same way that it messed up Michael Jordan in his sophomore season. And it was, there was such a huge problem with that. The other thing that I think, that the Sky aired in was in, and it is more concerning for me for Angel as a person, is she needs, if she is a leader on a team, she needs to be the leader. She can't be, she can't be the one to score all the points. She's had this issue for this season that I noticed that it's either the Angel show, the Angel Camilla show, or nothing at all, and that's a problem.
And you brought that up before the first game of the season, because when we did Allie's notes, the first thing she said that concerned her, it concerned every Sky fan that took a look at the opening game with a critical eye, they wanted Angel to run the point. Immediately, Allie jumped out of her skin and went, "Why?"
Yeah.
And you saw the end result.
Yes.
A 35-point blowout when Angel, after the first possession of the game, and Dog, you were there with me riding shotgun.
Yep.
Victor was there as well. First possession of the game, they had Angel run the point. It turned into a near 24-second violation. Indiana came down and immediately splashed home a 3, and they were off to the races. That was that.
That's it. Yeah. And it's scary to watch stuff like that as a Chicago Sky fan. And I have no argument with anything of what you just said. The concerns that I have is, how do you go on from a team that you have openly criticized in a very big way, got a suspension? I mean, if you have an argument with your boyfriend, you might try to work it out, but but in a long-term relationship, I would say that openly dissing somebody really does signal the end of a relationship.
I tend to think that this is the end.
And I mean, the fact is that the team suspended her for those comments. That tells you right there that the team's fed up with it. So, again, this leads into the fact of who's going to try to take her on and take on not just the personality, but the brand recognition that she has.
Go. Yeah.
English
and
EXP failed.
I think that we may have seen the last of Angel, to be honest with you. Now here's another scenario though, buddy, and that is if the Sky say part waves with Tyler Marsh, and they come to Angel and they say, Angel, what's it going to take for you to stay? You're our best scorer. What's it going to take? Is it going to take, you being the leader of the team? We want to build around you. We want you to know that you're valued to us. That would feed the ego of one Angel Reese, and I think that would be helpful to her. I think that the Sky is not going to have so many draft picks in next year's WNBA draft that they can afford to lose Angel.
Right.
Napoleon
talked about this offline with us. What is Angel going to choose to feed? Is she going to choose to feed her team, or is she going to choose to feed her ego?
Yeah. And either is possible. She needs good guidance. She needs to listen to her gut. As it turned out with the Bulls, Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson worked out a deal where he fed the ball to more people, therefore signaling a better and more strengthened team and a better championship mentality. Now that does
John Paxson.
Exactly. Bring an outside shooter next year.
Yeah,
that would solve so many issues.
Not only would it solve so many issues to take a lot of pressure off of her back, it would give them a few more points. Because we're scoring teams in the league, especially when they played better teams. When they played teams above them, they couldn't put the ball in the basket. Now they got lucky beating Minnesota twice. They got beaten Los Angeles, but on a consistent basis, they could not put the ball in the bucket.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And wasn't one of those when Fee was out?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And it happened to be one of those, flash in the pan, great moments for the Chicago Sky. But that said, who's number one? Who's seeded number one in the playoffs?
That would be the Minnesota Lynx.
Yes.
And the Lynx wasted no time with Golden State hanging 101 points on them. Game 2 tonight. What have you seen so far in the playoffs? What's the story that you have?
Well, first of all, the Lynx demonstrated why they are the number one seed against the Golden State. Now, Golden State has had a wondrous season. You haven't seen any team who has come so prepared and so wonderful. And, all hail to Natalie Nikhazy for what she's done over the last year.
Coach of the year, and there's no doubt in my mind she's the coach of the year.
She is, yes, I hands down. The thing is that they do not have the experience to go. Yeah. Now, their game tonight is in.
It's in San Francisco.
I'm sorry, it's Wednesday, and it will
I
be.
was about to say, boss. I hate to correct you, but the game's
It's
tonight are
Wednesday,
Dream
so-
Fever and Aces Storm.
Okay.
Say that again?
Aces Storm
Aces
in
Storm in the night.
Seattle.
It's Dream Fever.
Dream and
tonight
Fever
in India.
And let's stick with the Fever. Even though this may be the last game of the year because Indiana's playing so shorthanded, I can tell you from experience, Gamebridge Fieldhouse is going to be loud.
Yep.
It's going to be loud tonight. And that crowd alone, to answer Damien's comment, that crowd alone just may carry him back to Atlanta for game 3. They're ready.
It's possible, but here's the deal: is that if you don't have Aaliyah Boston playing at her top form, or Kelsey Mitchell,
it's going to be a 2-game sweep.
It shall be.
If you don't have Mitchell or Boston playing at the top of their game, and then the second half, Atlanta did such a good job dismantling that Indiana defense and getting Boston away from the basket. And defensively, they flipped the switch on Kelsey Mitchell and took the ball out of her hand. Kelsey needs the ball. Kelsey needs the ball in her hands. She needs the ball in her hands for 40 minutes tonight.
Yes, absolutely. And also, Boston needs to watch her foul count because she was subbed out with her 5th foul in game 1, and Indiana was still within striking distance. They trailed by 8 with about 9 minutes to play, and by the time she checked back in, the Fever trailed by 14 and never got within single digits again. And playing Brianna Turner ain't gonna make it. They made Indiana stagnant, and Turner can't handle the ball, wasn't a threat to score. I mean, it's just going to be that Aaliyah has got to play 48 minutes of basketball.
And to borrow from the late great Jim Durham, every time Brianna Turner touched the ball, they sent a posse after her.
Yeah.
Ready.
That's right.
They sent a posse after her and she wasn't ready. So they play team ball tonight and let the crowd carry him back to Atlanta for game 3. Meanwhile, there are the Las Vegas Aces.
Oh my God.
There's A.J. Wilson. They won 17 in a row if you count their playoff win, and they too had a 100-point game. Now
102-77 to be exact.
Now they just got to go to Seattle and blow them out again, and I see another 100-point game for the Aces. These girls are unstoppable.
That's for sure. Now the thing is that Becky Hammond and the Aces have never lost a first-round game ever.
Nope.
Okay, they have the primary experience necessary. They also have Asia Wilson in top form and the defensive player of the year, at least, if not the MVP. We've got some competition in Alyssa Thomas and a few others. And so I'm expecting that this is going to be a blowout. Think of this. They have won they've won 6 consecutive postseason games against the Storm, and dating to a 3-1 series win in the 2022 semifinals. So we're talking about a 3-year history where they've been unstoppable. If you look at Becky Hammond, my God, those eyes are wild. Every second she wants to prove that last year was an anomaly. She wants to prove that she is the coach of all time. And I mean, I do not see Seattle, God bless them for their revitalization and their turnaround this season. God bless them. Happy to see them in the playoffs. Happy to know sayonara until next year.
Well, 17 straight wins, 18 tonight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 18 tonight, 16 to close the season, and 2 in the postseason is going to take care of that. Even though I know Seattle's going to be loud in the Climate Pledge Arena, aka Key Arena. And for those of you NBA old schoolers like Allie and I remember, when it was Key Arena before that, it was the Seattle Center Coliseum.
That's
which only sat 14,000. Now it seats 18,000.
That's right. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And it's exciting as well. I cannot wait to see what happens tonight. But again, this was the rebuilding year for Seattle. So, with the absence of Jewel Lloyd, with everything that's happening, I think that it's going to be very easy to see the Las Vegas Aces back in the fray. Not so certain is number 4 Phoenix Mercury against number 5 New York Liberty, who had the only overtime game this during game 1.
Make Sabrina Ionescu mad?
Yeah.
Don't make Sabrina mad.
Sabrina's not pretty when she's mad.
Because if you make Sabrina mad, the overtime period happened in New York.
That's exactly it. Now, here's the big question, and all of us media members are on the edge of our seats to know if Breanna Stewart will be able to play. And tomorrow night, game 2 at home, and we'll see. It's she had an MRI yesterday, and I think smartly for the team, raising of blood pressure for every media manager across the coasts. They are not going to release that information. She's listed as a game time decision, and the thing is, though, I think that as much as the Mercury has improved this year, as much as they've been a good team, I really believe that New York has got this one, whether or not Breanna Stewart plays. If they could push to a game, go ahead.
Thomas and company, good luck winning in New York.
Yeah.
I had to say, good luck winning in New York. In fact, the queen here next to you picked New York to sweep the series.
Interesting. Well, it's entirely possible. I'm seeing that. If not, Ella the Elephant is going to run on the court and mow down a few of the players, and I think that'll be that for the Liberty. And I just think that the biggest concern I have is who is going to step up. Who's going to step up? Now, there are a few. There's Kennedy Burke, who's a possibility. Izzy Harrison, Niara Sabali. Yep, I love to see that matchup. Sister against sister, Satu Sabali versus Niara, and I'm looking forward to that. If Stewart is unavailable for tomorrow's game, we will. Go ahead.
Kennedy Burke, I believe, is going to be the wild card for New York.
She is. Yeah, most definitely. She is going to be great. Let's see, too, about Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud was huge in the game one victory. She got she had 23 points and 9 field goals were the most that she's hit since joining New York. So I'm looking at a true blood game for tomorrow night. I feel it strongly, which the Liberty is going to win.
And Liberty's out for blood, and we got to get the heck out of here. Allison Moran joining us as she does every week with the Token Female Takeover. Thank you, Allie, so very, very much. We love you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Love you too. Have a great week, guys.
Thank you. Before we get the heck out of here, let me do 2 things. One, I know there's a note we didn't get to with Allie. We were running out of time. And let me answer this with Damien. People got to always criticize Angel like she's not doing her best. I'll stop you there. She is, but she isn't. I'll let y'all think about that. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. And thank you, Napoleon, for that apology. That will become a short later. We're out of here.
Boy.
See you tomorrow. By the way, Damien, who's in the playoffs and who ain't? That would be the Indiana Fever. A final ID.
You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
Now we're out of here. See you tomorrow.
Follow the Q Queen on Twitch.